She looks quite alert this morning.
Morning.
I think it's partly because the weather is warm, it's cooler, it's a bit cooler. It was very hot over the weekend, and this morning there's more of a breeze.
Will be the hottest.
Wednesday will be the hottest, so we'll see what it will be like.
Yeah.
But today was meant to be very hot, but so far it's okay. The traffic has been bad, so I got here quite late.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm going to carry on reading my book, Thriving at Nature's Pace. It's about a new approach to climate change for my mum. And we're on a bit about how investments work. And this part is we're going to go on about the different types of investment managers that we have. And so we're just going to start that. And we'll read for a few pages and then go on, leave the rest for tomorrow or the next day. So passive managers. About $40 trillion of invest money, this is kind of end of 2025, is invested in what are called passive strategies. In these strategies, there is no effort spent on anticipating which company will do better or worse than another. Instead, the strategies create a mini version of the whole market by owning shares of every company in proportion to their size. Apple, the producer of the ubiquitous iPhone, for example, is one of the largest companies in the US stock market. It represents 7% of the entire market by size. A passive strategy would allocate 7% of however much money it has to shares in Apple. Similarly, Tesla is 2% of the US stock market, and so the passive investment manager focused on the US stock market would allocate 2% of the money she manages to Tesla shares. The manager's opinion on Apple or Tesla does not matter. This passive strategy is also called indexing. The index can be the whole of the US stock market, or it can be only technology companies, and so on. Any index can be created, including bespoke indexing, where a client may choose a particular collection of companies to follow. That gives variety to investors. They may, for example, like an index of AI companies, or equally, an index of Asian steel producers. The strategy derives from seminal work on investment in the 1950s. This argues that if an investment manager is unable to judge whether one company is better than another, then the best to do is to follow the market. This is to invest in a mini portfolio of all companies in the ratio of how much these companies are worth. This theory asserts that if any manager is able to find one company that's undervalued or overvalued, then the information on this would rapidly become known. The market value of the companies would rapidly correct, so that the portfolio of companies in the ratio of their market values would always capture all relevant information. The investor in the indexing strategy is therefore investing in the overall growth of the economy, giving up the potential gains in being first to pick the companies to lead the growth. If the investors follow indexing are more risk-seeking, then they may hold more of the wealth in the mini portfolio. If the investors are more averse to risk, then they may hold less of their wealth in the mini portfolio. The rest of their money would remain as cash. The majority in the investment today follow this form. It's very cheap to deliver. There is no need to pay the investment manager for skills. Moreover, as long as the monthly contributions people make to the savings go into these strategies every month, a self-perpetuating momentum is guaranteed. New money will also buy the same stocks that are already being held, and this will keep up the support for their price. As this is in proportion to the actual market size, it will reinforce the existing ranking of the companies. The index will therefore drive its own value up. The investment managers of passive strategies cannot change the holdings. They are restricted by their mandates to hold only the index portfolio. This prevents them from directly investing in Thrive contracts with the profits. However, the investment managers can create an index of companies that use Thrive contracts. New money being invested into this Thrive index will now benefit the companies and the investment managers. So just to recap, Thrive contracts are ways in which people can buy the oil and gas and coal that's in the ground, and then they can actually go and exchange that for Thrive coins, or they can extract it, depending what they want. This will encourage companies to review their energy demand in their businesses to create room for banking energy savings. It would incentivize the companies themselves to innovate for a world without oil and gas and coal. Companies can use the Thrive coins they receive to attract more customers. This makes them better investments. When they do this, Thrive coins gain value across the economy. Other people can exchange them for goods and services, knowing the coins can be used for something that is ubiquitous. such as smartphones. A company like Pandora, which is the world's largest jewelry maker, can become a member of the index by banking its energy savings. That is to say, they take any energy savings they use, swap it out for oil and gas and coal that's in the ground because they don't need to be used anymore. And then, by having the ownership of those instead, they can turn them into Thrive coins, which they can then use as tokens and currencies for the goods that they have for people to buy. Similarly, a company like Nvidia, which produces advanced AI chips, can do the same. Inditex, which owns the fashion brand Zara, and many others can do likewise. Banking energy savings through Thrive contracts has a simple clarity to it. This lends itself to passive investment managers. It avoids the potential pitfalls associated with the complex issues of sustainability and other criteria. It simply sells oil, gas, and coal to nature. There you go. We'll stop there today. It's quite late, so okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Take care. God bless. So let's see, Mom. Don't worry about